And we are back.
Start this over? What? It's 141 episodes. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on.
Fuck, man.
Are you ready?
My brain just stopped working.
Oh no.
Couldn't say couch. All right.
All right,
Sorry
hold
about
on.
that.
No. We're good. I'm just going to keep going. You good?
Are you going to cut that?
Yeah, of course I'm going to cut
Okay.
it.
I didn't know if you're going to restart it or...
We don't know now. Now it might be a... Okay, you ready?
I did that once before, but that time I just forgot what the intro was.
Yeah, no, this is fine. This is fine.
All right.
Okay.
And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me as always, Tyler.
Heidi ho. I'm here.
Did you say that one already?
I don't think so.
I think you might have.
I hope not.
I think you fucking
I don't
might
think
have,
so.
bro.
You got to go back and check.
I will.
Go.
Dude, there's only a couple weeks.
I don't think I did.
All right. For those of you listening, Tyler needs to say a unique introduction from now until the end of the year,
Yeah.
or he owes me one cheeseburger.
Yep.
One.
I'm pretty sure I didn't do Heidi ho.
I think you absolutely did.
Well.
I'm like almost positive,
Buddy,
actually.
go do it.
I will.
Go check it.
By this time, when this comes out, we will know if Tyler owes me a
So
cheeseburger.
there
or
will
not.
be their cheeseburger in front of you, or
There won't be. I don't think we've ever cashed them in
Yeah, well.
in our entire lives.
yeah, I owe you like 20, so it's fine.
Are you actually that in the hole?
I don't
for me?
think so.
I know I'm up on you.
Yeah, but you don't know how much because you don't keep records.
No, the only people that keep records are Mike, Kyle. I think just those two.
That's it. Yeah, I don't keep records.
I think maybe Calvin.
Oh, Calvin's in on the cheeseburgers?
Yeah, somehow he's
Oh,
in.
man, get the research department to go fact check it.
I don't think we have a research department anymore, man.
Well,
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway.
But they're like Coons cheeseburgers, so they're not even good.
Yeah. Well, they might be. They were surprisingly fine.
So like, what were they like frozen or?
No, they have like, you know how you go to like a deli
Yeah.
counter? Like they had some hot foods you can get.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So like cheeseburger, you
just
can
buy
just get it and wrap
cheeseburgers.
it. Yeah. I only had
Do they
one in
still
my
have
life,
them?
and they were fine. So I was
You've
actually
only had one?
Yeah. Dude,
There's
Taco Bell is right across the street. Why would I go to Coons?
Why is there a whole structure around betting?
That predated me. That was like I didn't really.
Predated you?
Yeah, well they were already.
I thought you were at the inception.
Well, so it was kind of like a weird thing where like I was at Nebo, and then I moved to Ross Park, then I got moved to McKnight, and then really when that kind of took off with like the cheeseburger betting, I was like gone by then.
These are all different
So I guess it didn't
GameStop,
predate me; it like post dates me.
GameStop stores that he's listing off.
I'm sorry. Yes. So I was.
Nobody's gonna know that.
I was
Unless
at one
they're from-
GameStop store that closed. Then I got
Yes.
moved to
Right.
Ross Park to close it. Then
Yep.
I went to the McKnight store. Yeah. And then I left. And then they, I don't know, kept doing the cheeseburger bets. And then it just bled over into like friend group hangouts and,
Right.
and different things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither. All I know is I touched your ceiling and I got like 3 off
Yeah,
a
you
dial.
jumped off our couch,
And then-
touched the ceiling.
The Detroit Lions last year
Yeah.
got me squared away with Mike. I was almost like 20 in the hole to him,
Yeah.
but I was like, if they make the playoffs, we're square. What a bet.
Yep.
That just confirms to me that I have an edge over Vegas and I should just double down on everything I'm
Oh,
doing.
100%. I don't
Yeah.
know why you don't do that.
I don't know. I should literally just go
When we go to Evo, we'll
life
bet.
savings. Evo?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
isn't that
yeah,
what we
yeah.
did
It's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Is it always in Las Vegas,
I have
though?
no idea. But
Yeah,
the next
no.
time it's in Las Vegas, that's not this year.
We should just go
We'll
this
do
year,
it.
bro.
I can't, man.
Why?
I have a child.
Don't you think Penny would enjoy Las Vegas?
I think she would enjoy Las Vegas. I don't think she would enjoy traveling.
Okay.
I don't think people that we travel with would enjoy traveling with us.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, and people hate those people.
Fuck them.
That's what...
You've had to sit there and listen to these babies for years, and now it's your turn to inflict the pain on the public.
I lead by example. I wouldn't want to hear it, so I wouldn't want to impose on other people. Dude, I'm
You're
very...
better
I don't like rocking
man.
the boat. You know this.
That's true.
I like
Rocking
to
the
keep
boat's bad.
Keep it smooth.
That's how you get seasick.
Yeah.
Actually, I think seasick is like, it's an inner ear thing.
Yeah, I don't get seasick. I don't get any type of motion
It's crazy.
sickness.
My mom gets seasick, and as soon as you get out onto, you know how like there's like a, you know, a line where like you get to the ocean like officially,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
or I guess what would you call inland of that?
Outland?
Like coast?
That's like
Like the water, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
What do you call that? Like coastal still? Before you get on the ocean.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not saying it. You're not giving me anything.
I don't know. You're
okay.
saying all words that are English words. Like, yeah, there's the coast. There's water
But
there.
there's a term for it.
Buddy, I'm not a nautical expert. The water, the ocean. When you get to the ocean, when you get out,
whatever.
when you get off the coast, you're
Yeah.
into the deep, into the deep blue sea.
Anyways, there's like a line where you get officially to the ocean, and it's weird. Like someone who's prone to seasickness, as soon as they cross that line, they're sick immediately. It's crazy. And then as soon as they come in, so it's like, I don't know exactly what causes that, but it's crazy.
They make glasses, and it might be just for driving. They have like liquid in them. They kind of like put in your peripheral vision. Basically, it's always like level for you, so like evens things out. So if things are like rocking or whatever, these like water glasses basically just kind of keep you like with a horizon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe you can use that on the ocean. Probably not, because
I don't
you're
think so.
surrounded
There's
by
like
water. So I don't know.
There's medicine you can take,
yeah, like a patch.
but it's like a balance thing. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like imagine if you were seasick back in the day where you had to travel the ocean to get anywhere.
I don't like being on the water, but I don't like.
I like the water. I haven't been on a lot of boats, but I do like the water. It's cool. It's a cool time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like being in kayak because it's more of a claustrophobic thing.
No. Well, I would do a kayak, but I'm talking like a boat.
When I'm in it, I'm fine, but I hate getting into it and everything. It's just
I don't
like
know.
a big boat, like a
I
little
like being
speedboat.
on the water,
Yeah,
whether it's on the coast
or in the deep
or
blue
in
sea.
the deep blue sea. Either way,
Yeah. All right.
like I like the beach.
Sure.
Do you like the beach?
No, it's sandy.
Yeah.
I lied. I actually had a lot of fun on the honeymoon. Like the beach was like nice to just get out there
It's
and
just
relax
chill,
and
dude. It's
stuff.
a great
Yeah.
vibe.
I think that's really it. Is just if it's relaxing and you don't have to like do anything, you kind of just like walk there. It was also a private beach, so that was kind of nice. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always helps, I'm sure. But
yeah. Which I guess it's not really private or something. Like it's not
No.
like people have to like get off. Like people can just walk by, but like no one does.
no.
So yeah, we were very fortunate. It was nice.
Yeah, like the sand is like coarse and rough and it gets everywhere.
Yeah,
But I like it.
yeah. It's sure to each his own, man. You're allowed.
Allowed to like it?
Yeah, you're
thanks,
allowed to like
thanks,
it.
Tyler.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. Anyways, speaking of which, Star Wars Day was
Good.
A couple weeks ago?
segue. Yeah, the 4th.
the 4th.
Yep.
And so I watched, I went over to my friend's house on May 4th and we watched episode 4,
Ugh. All right.
which is great.
I don't even understand. Like that's the worst of all of them. When you're saying like May 4th. Hold on. I don't need that look. I don't need that
I'm
look.
waiting. I didn't say
Yeah,
anything. I'm
all
just
right.
waiting for you to finish.
What do you say on May 4th?
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You know what movie has the least amount of May the Force be with you? Episode 4.
Okay, but I'm
All
just
right.
watching Star
So,
Wars.
Yeah, but if you
he
really
asked
want to
me which one are we
embrace-
watching. So it's either 1 or 4.
Yeah.
It was 4.
1 or 3 are the ones that really let you.
You can't start with 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not watching all of them, right?
No, but like 4 is the best one in terms of its own encapsulated story.
Sure.
So if you're going to pick one, I think 4 is easily the most obvious choice.
Yeah.
It was written to be a standalone.
Star Wars.
You can watch it front to end,
Front to end.
front to back,
Yeah. Okay.
and like it's a succinct story.
Yep.
Loose ends are wrapped up.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Right?
I mean, Vader kind of gets shot off in outer space.
That's true, which is really interesting. If they wanted it to be like a standalone, maybe he just gave himself an out
Yeah.
in case it popped off, which is really smart.
Yeah.
But that is interesting. Like
Well, he had
I
all
was
those
thinking,
written, right?
what's that?
Weren't they all written whenever they came out? or
I have no
something?
idea.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge. I don't know all the backstory and stuff, but like that is like what I was thinking about that actually. That exact thought. I was like, what if they just killed Vader?
Yeah.
He would be boned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What if they killed Boba Fett? You can do whatever you want, man.
Well,
You know what I mean?
That's not very crucial.
No, what I'm saying is in the movie, Boba Fett gets thrown into a Sarlacc pit.
Oh,
For all
you're
intents and
saying
purposes, he's
bullshit.
dead.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
you can just kind of.
I will say though that they do say in episode 6 takes 1,000 years for you to digest.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time for you to get out.
Yeah. But
Whereas, like, if you get blown up in a Death Star, you're pretty done.
Yeah, or it blowed up in like space, but like his suit protected him. There.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, you could have.
Right,
but he was smart, and he was like, "Nah,
Dude, if Princess Leia can go into outer space,
no, I don't accept
fly,
that. I don't expect
and fly through space.
I don't accept that
without
premise.
a spacesuit,
no,
without a helmet,
nope.
without oxygen,
no,
without anything.
She froze too. Like she literally froze solid.
Yeah.
So she's just the most powerful Force user ever.
She can do that. I'm pretty sure Darth Vader, Lord of the Sith, can just kind of hang out and hitch a ride on the next
I'm
Highway.
not saying it's unbelievable. I didn't even say that.
Yeah.
You know what is unbelievable?
Yeah.
You're out in space, no suit, frozen.
Yeah.
Then your eyelids open somehow through the frozenness.
Well, they puff up.
And then you force yourself back to the ship.
Exactly.
I fucking hate that movie. Again, so anyways, I watched 4 and then I watched 5 and 6. And again,
all in one sitting?
No. I just watched 4 and then over the weekend I was like, oh man, it just got me into Star Wars.
Sure.
And I was like, and I texted you, I was like, I miss the OG Star Wars. Because they're great. They hold up. Yeah. Or some of it's cheesy. It's the 70s, obviously. I can see some of the puppeteering going on or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, there's nothing better than practical effects.
Yeah.
To this day, man. Like Chewbacca looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think you can make anything better than that.
Sure.
Like you maybe on par, but like how many movies these days would just have a CGI fucking,
Yeah.
His fur looks he looks so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like everything. The droids look great because they're all people.
Mm-hmm.
I just miss like that, just old school practical effects.
It's
things
gritty.
Like
And then that's why the prequels always felt a little off, is because technically they're supposed to be before these new things. So it's like, I don't know, everything was all like shiny and new and CGI.
That's true.
And
that
stuff
always
like
throws
that.
me off.
Yeah.
Where it's like the ships in the
They're
later
just
is like,
sleek
wow,
as
they
heck,
really.
and now they're just like beat to heck.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so we just regressed as a civilization. Yeah.
Anyways, after watching Empire Strikes Back, which is, cemented as the best one, obviously. I was waiting for you to respond. Yeah,
sure.
So
that's fine.
It just like 8's so bad. Like so much stuff happens in 5. It's like they start off on Hoth, which is awesome. Like an amazing sequence where they're like battling the snow and surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the big battle. And you have this whole thing going and they get separated. And then you have the training sequence on Dagobah while they're trying to escape the Empire, right? So one might argue like, oh, well, episode 5, they're just escaping the Empire, just like episode 8. It's like, okay, sure. But the space part of that is like one sequence, and then they go through the asteroid field, and then they hide out, and then they're like hiding, blah, 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 and then they are escaping again. And then there's the whole Cloud City thing.
Yeah, Lando system.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's a person, not a system.
Well, I'm just saying, but like it's very like the pacing is just good because it's like
Pacing's
it's just
great.
It's
you have 2 stories, they start together, then they spread apart, and then they come back. There's a lot of world building. There's a lot, and then the environments,
revelations and stuff. Yeah,
the environments are so cool too. Whereas, like, yes, you have in episode 8 the space, you have the ice planet, and then you have
Swamp Planet.
Like Luke's place? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like Dagobah?
No, in 8.
Oh, I'm sorry, in 8. Oh, yeah.
So you have the ice planet.
Yeah.
You have Luke's planet, I guess, because Rey's training. I think that's where
it's not even an ice planet though.
It's
like,
really
it's like desert.
It's
desert
it's
with
a white
desert.
Thing.
Yeah,
with red spice or something, kind of doony.
Yeah, like they're sacrificing the.
And you have the casino planet.
Which,
there's potential there. Interesting, but. Yeah, I don't know. It was really strange.
Remove that.
The problem is,
tell me what it
I've
does.
talked about this too many times, but there's no fucking you could have literally stripped that because the person they go to get a person who can hack the Empire, whatever. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I watched 8. And then that person's not there, so they get this random guy, and then the random guy betrays them, and they're like, "What? This random guy betrayed us, dude? No fucking way!" Because the Empire paid him a shit ton,
and it didn't matter anyway because they still like they didn't need anything from them.
Literally could have cut 99% of the movie and like it literally could have just been like,
Still ends
we're
the
running
same
away,
way.
and then I sacrificed myself. Also, said this a million times, you can infinitely improve that story. You replace whatever the fuck her name is, purple hair lady, with Admiral Akbar.
Yeah,
instantly better, bro.
Yep.
Or his like son.
And here's the thing,
Admiral Akbar Jr.
And I know I harp on the books all the time.
Yeah.
So I did read. There was one of the Leia books, which is in like my list of
you harp
Star
on
Wars.
them.
Like I always say, like
you reference them.
Reference them, or harping isn't the right word.
Harp's negative connotation.
Yeah, I pump these up.
Right.
Yeah, like it's like, oh hey, the books add a lot of context.
Yes.
Holdo is kind of cool in the books, and I get the
whole
lady.
Yeah,
like it makes sense because the book is actually like young Leia, so it's like she was with Holdo. It's like
I see. Okay,
they shoehorn her in a good way, but it's just like, oh, look at all these cool things that they did together. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, except for the people that are watching this for the first time, and here's this weird purple-haired lady while the guy that everyone loves just dies, and he gets I
would have much
Akbar's
rather
dead, you know.
I would have much rather had a young Leia movie than a young Solo movie.
Ooh,
like
yeah,
the
I guess
lore
so.
behind Han Solo is so great.
Yeah.
That I think it actually detracts by seeing it.
Leia's good too, though. Like Leia has a whole like.
No, she's great, but what I'm saying is Han Solo is like one of the best characters ever, and it's like I think the whole mystique around it, or at least part of it, is like, oh, you know, I did this in under blah 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 parsecs, but you know, I did this, but that's the charm behind it, where he's recounting all these things. I think you actually lose something when you see it because you play it up in your head so much. It's like. You know what I mean? Like that's part of
Did
the,
he actually do it? Did he?
That's the charm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's he exaggerating? Like, what's real?
Yeah.
Now, I know there's like part like, oh, how do you end up with Chewbacca and this and that? Like, there are questions to be answered. I just thought Solo, I don't think it was bad, but very unnecessary. I would have liked to see Leia more. Like, I'm much more curious about like, oh, wow, like what was her life like? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we see her in episode 3, she gets sent to Alderaan. Like, that's really cool to see how, like, she grew up and her backstory, how she became a general in the Alliance. I don't know.
Like, she literally had to, like, go through, like, they had this whole, like, rite of passage and everything. And, like, the book was pretty decent. Like, it was fine. It wasn't, like, a 5-star book or anything like that. But, like, it was good enough to be like, oh, they're adding a lot of context. Oh, they're adding a lot of, like, kind of backstory and the decisions that she makes in the movies or her attitude in the movies are like you could see how she was kind of groomed from a younger age. There's young Leia in Obi-Wan, you know, like
I never saw
her in
one.
there, and it's just like okay, like it's a little weird that they like don't reference each other because it's like they at the very end of that show they're just like, oh, and make sure we can never say that we knew each other or whatever. So
wait,
like
who?
Leia and Obi-Wan. So like it's young Leia and Obi-Wan and and they go through these hijinks together or whatever. And then at the end of it, they kind of do this throwaway line of Obi-Wan being like, all right, like we can never say that we know each other. So then that doesn't like wreck the canon of like 4 where it's like, you served my father in the Clone Wars, General Kenobi, like help me or whatever.
Nah.
So it kind of...
That's dumb too because like that's a personal message for him.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't have to put on a facade. Like, and there's no one else there. There shouldn't be anyone else there. He's not going to show the message.
Like they're trying to be. She's trying to be like,
that's
smart.
That's dumb. And they handled some of that really good. Like, Rogue One is still fantastic.
You need to watch Andor,
where it's like, wow, this not only is a solid movie, it also fixes a plot hole from the original. Like, that's so cool. Like, one of the best instances of that I can ever think of.
But Andor, like, makes that much better because then you like it's always about just caring about the people. Like Star Wars is always about the characters, right? Like 100%. It's always so in trade routes, but the characters themselves, like the more backstory you give them, the more the like context.
Yeah.
Like I would say more often than not, it makes you like care about them or want you know. That's
you say trade routes.
Yeah. That's
there's
the second,
there's people.
Thing. Yeah.
In those trade routes.
Absolutely.
That's the backbone.
Yeah.
Dude, say what you will. The whole, it's very political, but I think that's so cool in the prequels.
You can't get away from it. Like that's the whole thing. Is like all of this. It's stemmed from that. So like I know they get a bad rap and it's like trade routes and everything. Like whatever. And like I know we joke about it, but at the end of the day, like that's what's governing everything. Like you have Palpatine, like he's like
just pulling straight. Like Palpatine's rise to power is one of my favorite arcs of all time.
Yeah,
it's so he's just cool. Playing everyone.
Yep.
He propagates a fake war. Like it's so cool. He plays Dooku like a fiddle.
Yep.
Like Count Dooku, I think he's super underrated. Like his whole backstory is really interesting to me. Right?
I mean that novel is. That's the reason why I gave the episode 3 novel like a 5-star rating, is because of all the like thoughts and things like that they put in for Dooku. Because he was just like, oh, Anakin's fighting with a robotic hand. He's a piece of crap. A real gentleman would have just learned to fight with one hand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, and then you look at that, and then when he cuts off both of Dooku's hands, it just adds this little like extra flavor if you catch it. And it's just like, it's so cool. Like, I don't know. And how much of that is like meant to be a certain way, and how much of it is like, oh, we're just saving it. Like, I don't know. Like, but people give certain things bad rap, but like Disney is just kind of the thing that's killing it is, okay, they do the Solo movie. It didn't tank, but it was like, yeah, it's whatever, right?
Right.
Okay, they just shelve it, they get rid of it, whatever. So it's like you have all these like splinters of things, and they're just kind of like just shooting their shots on all this stuff and trying to see like, okay, what hits, what doesn't. Oh, this hit? Great, let's run into the ground. Great. Mandalorian was a thing? Cool, let's give it 4 seasons until we just bleed it dry and move on. You know, like...
Well, that's just their MO these days, right?
Yeah, well, that's
I think it's
just the problem.
Well, the problem is it's incredibly profitable to have that business model.
Absolutely, but
because
you're
people
not...
will pay for it, right?
You're doing everything at like a disservice where it's like...
But they don't care about it.
No, well, yeah, I mean, sure.
It's not their thing.
Yeah.
Like, say what you will about Lucas. That's like his baby, man.
Yep.
Not like, that is...
Yeah.
You know? I can't believe he sold it. I still think about that. Like... They threw a ton of money at him, but like this is you pretty much. Like this is your greatest work and will always be your great. Like nothing will top this.
On one hand, yes,
this is your legacy.
On the other hand, Lucas was destroying the prequels, right? Like how many times did you hear that? Of like, oh, he's destroying Star Wars. He won't leave him alone.
Yeah,
he's doing all the CGI.
Yep.
I think he was brilliant in that. Like, oh, okay, you think I'm doing a bad job?
Oh, yeah.
Here you go, Disney.
You go, yeah.
And now all the vitriol and everything, like
shifted.
It's just Disney sucks.
He's the hero now.
And even the worst parts of what Lucas did is still shining glory compared to like the stuff that Disney's spitting
Lucas
out.
was always a great world builder and big picture guy, right? The micro, the intricate details, he is horrible at. I mean,
he's
just
great at explaining it. He does such a good job in interviews being like, oh, here's the nuances that I was trying to get across.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's great.
Yeah, you didn't.
You didn't.
You know, like,
right. Yeah.
Like it didn't work. Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, even go back to like, so we were watching it on Disney Plus, which is like the new quote unquote version of episode 4, where they have all this bullshit CGI for no reason.
Yeah.
And then the whole, I know it's a meme. Han shooting first is so integral to his character.
Yeah.
It makes me sick every time I watch that scene.
Yep.
Where it's like, what is he fucking thinking?
Didn't they patch that back in though?
No.
So that the quote unquote official version, or like the
whatever's on Disney Plus,
he shoots second. Interesting. Okay. I thought they reverted that.
Gross.
Yeah.
It just kills me. And it's like, and here's the thing too. It's like, okay, we're going to spend the time and resources and money to do that. That actually detracts from it. And then all this other bullshit that's like, oh, here's a big creature walking in the background that is so out of place because it's CGI.
Yeah.
For no reason. And then you have like the stuff that's actually not that good. Mm-hmm. Like the lightsaber fight. And we can't do anything there.
Yeah.
Like some guys on YouTube
the lightsabers.
can do a way better job. Like imagine if they had a budget.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever seen that on YouTube?
Oh yeah. Where Obi-Wan,
looks great.
Yep.
There's just dudes on YouTube. I mean, they had some sort of budget because it looks really clean.
There are some things that I'm all for, and like I had it on the VHS where like Cloud City, like it used to be just like white corridors, like they didn't have anything, and now like you have like wide open, like you don't even notice it, and that's the good CGI. Where they're walking and there's just these big bay windows, and you could see out, and all the flyers going around and different things like that.
Melds perfectly.
It's perfect,
Yes.
right? Like that stuff's good. Or you're taking out the giant orange blob under like the speeders, and you just make the speeders look better.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Like
Yeah.
that's the stuff you should be doing.
Yes.
You shouldn't be trying to like shoehorn in like I think they did like the pit droids in Tatooine and stuff like that. Like on some level, I get it. You're trying to like bridge that gap, and even
Right.
at the end of Jedi, where it just cuts to like
6?
here's Naboo, here's Naboo, here's Coruscant, here's all this stuff, where it's like you're seeing all of that.
Yep.
I'm good with all of that. But yeah, when you're starting to really just nitpick, like, oh, Sean shot second, Han shot second, you're right. Like you're starting to fiddle with, or like Vader's like, no, multiple times, like why? Like why? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
No, it's
Whatever.
you're changing characters at that point.
Right.
And Han's the best character you wrote. Don't fuck with him.
But here's the thing, like the longer it goes, the more you accept things. So like whenever they put Hayden Christensen at the end of 6, I was like fundamentally against
so
it.
dumb,
I
yeah.
hated it. It was bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, like when you're watching Ahsoka, when you're watching Obi-Wan, when you're seeing like all these things where Hayden's brought back and he's really embodying Vader, and you start to like actually see good acting, like now that he's significantly older, and it's just like, okay, like
Is he a lot better?
He's a much better actor than I could ever be, right? So it's one of those things. But like in Ahsoka, I think he was a phenomenal actor because he was very, very subtle, and they did it right, where it was just like he's much older, much wiser. Like it made sense. The problem,
I actually liked him in 3.
But
like maybe I have to go back and watch it.
There's a lot
of
context out of 3. So like if they actually spent the time, again, like in the books, but like the books just kept saying, this is who Anakin Skywalker is right now. And they said that like 3-4 times in that book, where it was just like, it was just seeing his like, I don't even want to say mental decline, but like mental evolution or mental shift, or him like really wrestling with these fears and things. And like to some extent they do that in the movies, but they never really play it out well and stuff. He has a couple okay scenes, and like I think 3 does a way better job than 2. But like I think that Hayden Christensen was the best actor to convey like the nuances of his thoughts and feelings, and like just the delivery. And like, look, I think Natalie Portman's a great actress. I don't think she was good in those movies.
No.
So it's like, I think did they have any chemistry and stuff? Like not really.
Right.
So I don't know. He was very good in the TV show because they did it right, and I think Filoni did a good job. Like, this is what we need from you.
Yeah,
this is the vision.
You got to play
like really focus on it. And he was also old enough to just do it. But the problem is, he looks way older than he did, before.
Yeah, right.
And technically, this happens prior to 3.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Technically, like because this is like Clone War era,
Sure.
so it's just like
Did they de-age him or what?
Yeah, and they de-aged.
It's gotten pretty good.
He was very good in Ahsoka, not very good in Obi-Wan. It was like they just really did like heavy like foundation on his face. But his forehead lines were still there.
That's like in Breaking Bad when they did the movie, Jesse's movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Todd.
Yep.
Like great guy, great actor,
Sure.
but he's just like way old, and he like gained a lot of weight.
Yep.
And
well, so did Jesse.
And so did
you know what I mean?
right,
Like
exactly,
it was the same
right,
thing. Like
exactly.
it's like a flashback. And they gave him like really big clothes to try to make him look like young.
Yeah, right. They're wearing like coats and stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I appreciate, but it's just not. It's like, and that sucks you out of it.
Yeah, you can only do so much.
I will say though, the one scene in that movie where it's Jesse and Walt at the
diner.
Yeah, that was really good.
But that's where they did it. Like that was the thing, is like it was very good, but he still was like not young Jesse. You know what I mean?
But I was more sucked into that scene than
Oh yeah,
the
because
other
you got
ones.
to see
Yeah,
Walter
yeah,
White.
right.
You know, like-
Well, yeah. Anyways, sorry. It's like the same thing. It's like sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Suspend your disbelief.
You can, but you don't have to do a sequel sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if I was in charge of Star Wars to do like the new trilogy, I might not even bring Han Solo back. How crazy is that move?
I would not have done any of the old characters.
I would have done Luke 100%. because he is in it, and he like I think Mark Hamill gets Star Wars, and he loves it, and like that's what you need.
But I would let him.
Even Carrie Fisher's like she was down, but you could tell it broke my heart. Like even in 7, you can tell like Harrison Ford doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
the act like I don't think he was good in that movie.
No, he had maybe like 2 scenes where I was like, "Yep, that's Han Solo," and then that was it.
Yeah, it was like very it was just nostalgia bait, and
the same with Lando. Like, okay, you go and Ray's in there with Lando, and suddenly that's all like,
yeah, but he was better than like Harrison Ford. Like the problem with that is like Harrison Ford actively despises Star Wars.
Sure.
So like he didn't even want to do episode 6. So now we're talking 30 years later. You think he wants to do 7? Get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
No way.
paycheck's a paycheck. I don't know.
It's the only way they got him is that and then he's like limping around because I think he got hurt on set.
Yeah.
And he's just old.
He crashed a plane, didn't he?
He got his leg caught in a door or something. Like one of those doors that...
I thought he crashed a plane.
I don't think so. Maybe.
I'm not saying that was why he was limping, but I'm pretty sure like it was like Carrie Fisher passed away. He crashed a plane. It's just like, man, what is like Chewbacca died. Like
you had to do these
Peter Mayhew
sequels like 10 years ago.
You don't bring him in. Like
don't bring him in. Yeah,
Ray was fine. Finn was fine. Like say what you will, it might not be for us, but like the characters were fine. The acting was fine. Like everything was.
Oh yeah,
good.
No, it's a narrative problem.
Like the worst parts were when they tried to bring in the fan service stuff and they missed the mark.
Well, I think the worst parts are the narrative is bad.
Well,
but you're right. You're right.
Sure,
they're trying to do both. They're trying to play both sides where it's like, okay, we want new, but we want to bring back the OG stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have this amalgamation of like terribleness.
Yep.
Right. So you just got to go one or the other. But it always makes me so mad because like, dude, look at how they were put on the map. Well, Disney wasn't put on the map, but like this whole thing is sparks from Marvel because that's what everyone's trying to capture.
Yeah.
Because it's like the most successful project in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. And they were faithful to the comics to some degree, right? Like they would pick and choose relevant stories from the comics, right? Now, were they super faithful and whatever? No. Like, Civil War is a lot different, but like at least they're like taking inspiration from that and trying to be faithful to those characters and everything. I just felt like with Star Wars, it's great. Like the first thing they do when they acquire it was like nix all of the expanded universe. That's like the worst decision you can make because that stuff was really popular and well done.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get it because you have that with Marvel. It's not like you were doing these Marvel things and you're like, we're nixing everything and now this is Marvel, right?
Right.
They didn't do that. They said, okay, we're going to take inspiration from this. We're going to do some storylines from all this stuff, like Winter Soldier, Civil War, the Infinity, like Thanos, right? They got all these ideas from the comics. And then, they got the characters from the I would have thought it would have been the same thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like how I feel about Thrawn. I wanted Thrawn. I was loving Thrawn, and they pulled him into Ahsoka, and it was just like, dude, I might have put too much on this, but like they didn't pull from the actual books. It was like, let's try this new thing.
The big problem is you need someone who understands the material.
It's Dave Filoni,
respectful of the material, and
and that's why largely the Star Wars TV shows are just leaps and bounds better than the movies,
right?
But you still have that kind of like Disney.
Like you have whoever
Disney
did The
humor,
Mandalorian, right?
That's Dave Filoni, and
that's the same guy.
Yeah, well, so like multiple directors and things like that, and like Dave Filoni's the one that did like the Clone Wars, and and you have who played Happy Hogan from Marvel. I always forget his name.
No, that's not Kevin Feige, right? That's
no, I can't think of his name.
He did Iron Man, right? Yeah.
And as soon as we get off the air, like Kevin's gonna be texting me the name, and I'm like, yeah, I know it, but you have him, and like they were putting stuff together, like the guy that did Thor, I can't pronounce his name.
Waititi.
Yeah, Waititi. He directed one of them or whatever and stuff. So like they have a really good people coming in and doing it.
He kind of fell off though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like
the last Thor movie was
the one
rough.
Thor was good, but
yeah. Yeah.
I think. Well, we were talking about becoming a caricature of yourself.
Jon Favreau, by the way. So
Jon Favreau, yes, happy. Yeah.
But they like Star Wars, and they did a really good thing with the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like it's not moving forward. Like the problem with Star Wars is either you're just stagnant, and you're still locked in this certain thing, and anytime you try to like breach, like, okay, let's try to move this in some direction.
Yeah.
Either they fall into the habit of like, I guess we got to bring in the Skywalkers, or guess we got to tie this into like Jedi and Sith, because that's the only thing that it's Star Wars.
Yep.
And I think Mandalorian did a good job where it's like, you don't need that. But then the whole point of the Mandalorian is like, well, we're gonna find Luke Skywalker and we're gonna give Baby Yoda over and stuff.
Into that.
You can't escape it. And like when you do or when you try, it's like people just don't have the good idea. And like, look, Rogue One was very good. I think Andor is very good. So like you can do it. Like you have these moments. But it's like there's just two very distinct ways of doing Star Wars, and we need somebody to like kind of like weave them a little bit better. I believe Filoni's new, like, because he's slated for a movie, and I think it is taking like, it's literally like as like a Marvel light, where it's like, okay, here's Mandalorian, here's Ahsoka, and here's Boba Fett, and here's everyone.
Crossover,
But I don't know.
I would have loved to see like what would Lucas have done if he had another. Maybe he just wouldn't have done it, because obviously
I think there's scripts floating around. I don't know how real it is with a lot of that stuff, because
really?
I think it was the
he had some ideas.
It was the kids and stuff.
Which is, dude, that's what the books did, though.
Like
isn't that what the books did?
The books were incredible.
Like Luke had a kid, Han and Leia had a kid, multiple, Luke, one of them became a Sith.
Han and Leia had 3, and Luke had 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you have like, I don't know, dude. They just
like Jaina had to kill Jason.
Yeah,
like, that's the whole
dude,
thing.
It was that sounds cool.
Let's meld them all together into one angsty.
That's the problem.
child.
If you're gonna bring back the OGs, continue the bloodline.
Yeah, you broke up on like they were supposed to be in love with each other.
Oh my
and
god!
stuff. And
Don't
it's
even
just
start it, dude. They literally just shit on the OG characters. Like, why would you bring them back just to shit all over their legacy?
Yeah.
And I say that every time I bring these up, I get mad and I say this, but it's just the truth. All of their story arcs were destroyed.
Yep.
Han and Leia, their whole thing was fucked.
Yep.
Destroyed. Like, especially Han, who goes from this selfish smuggler, only cares about himself, only cares about the coin, to a rebel general who is putting his life on the line for a cause.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't have to, right? And falls in love with the princess, who, like, they are total opposites, right? They break up. He's back to smuggling.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And I guess you have Leia, who's like, she's still doing what she wants
she's
to do.
She's still doing
guess, but
what she's...
know.
Leia wasn't, out of all of them, definitely the least offensive.
But, like, where's her growth?
There was no growth.
I mean?
She was kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
They destroyed Han, and then they destroyed Luke.
Yep.
Who, again, would never try to kill Kylo Ren. It's like, that's just the stupidest fucking thing.
And I'm not saying that characters can't end up in, like, not a happy ending, but you can't start there.
Yes, I agree. Like, could Luke have deteriorated or whatever? Like, sure, but, like, the core of his character is, like, literally the core of his character is finding the good in people and believing in them.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me this guy refused to fight his dad, who killed, like, his master and all this, like, had that restraint.
Mm-hmm.
But yet years later, he's going to try to kill his nephew.
In his sleep.
Yeah. That is crazy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're trying to do something different. I know you're trying to do something interesting, but, like, that is such a stretch. I just can't fathom what would cause that to happen. Like, that's just betraying his character.
Yep.
And I think Mark Hamill was, like, saying this when it came out. He's like, this sucks. Like, if you watch all those interviews, he's like, temper your expectation.
Yeah.
Like, because I think he gets it.
Yeah.
He knows that, like, that's not Luke, and he would know almost better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's just so brutal. And that's the problem now, where it's like all these new projects and stuff, and everyone's keeping up with it. And I just find, like, I have such a hard time getting excited and keeping up with this stuff, because it's like,
Like, there's good content. It's just
there is, but it's like the core movies are so bad in my mind, in my opinion, that it's like my motivation for keeping up with this stuff is waned significantly because it's like, well, like this is all canon and this is like really stuff. And like you can say, oh, the prequels had enough cool stuff in it that keeps me excited and keeps me going, right? Darth Maul, so cool. Pod racing, cool. Trade routes. Interesting. Not really, but like,
thought-provoking.
but like the rise to power of the Emperor, super cool. The clones, super fucking cool.
Yeah.
Episode 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's great. You know what I mean? What do the new ones have? Rey's fine, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of Finn. I do like Poe.
Finn went but that's what I'm saying is like Finn, Poe, Rey, like all the new characters were like.
I think Kylo Ren's the best character of the new trilogy.
He could have been.
I think he was. I don't think there's a better character in the new trilogy than him.
Oh, see, I disagree with that personally. Like, I think, man, actually, I disagree with that. But
who do you think's better?
I think all of them. Like Kylo,
you think Kylo Ren's the worst?
Kylo Ren was my least favorite. I'm not saying he was the
really?
worst. I think
wow.
I think they were all great. I just think that like if you're trying to have a new cast, I think he's a great villain and like he could do stuff. But it's like the story is just bad and like they're all better actors than anyone in the prequels. With maybe 100%. Like, I would say maybe Liam Neeson and
Liam Neeson is great.
Like Liam Neeson, there are some good actors in there, and like
Harrison Ford
Ewan McGregor
was great
is good, but like
in the. Like it holds up.
Yeah,
he's great.
But like the it's not a caliber of acting. It's just like the story and the thoughts and it's
the acting has never been like what Star Wars is about, right?
But like they're great actors. Like they're good. It's just like it's the humor and it's not Star Wars humor. It's Marvel humor. It's Disney humor. It's just very.
The tone is completely off,
but they dial that back. So if you watch The Mandalorian or you watch like that is pure Star Wars humor
because it just goes back to like they get it.
Yeah,
the people in charge got it, and the people in charge of the sequel did not give a shit about.
Yeah,
maybe that's unfair, but they didn't understand what made Star Wars great, and it's a tough task. But dude, it just pisses me off. Like they obviously want to play it safe. 7's just a rehash of 4. It's like, if you want to play it safe, use material that is universally loved.
Yeah.
But you nix the fucking extended universe.
Yeah.
It just blows like, dude, just literally take from one of the most beloved graphic novels or comics or whatever.
The thing is they kind of did.
Foundation.
Like they did. Because it's like, they called it Starkiller Base, didn't they? Like, wasn't that the whole thing? Yeah. So like, that's a thing. But
like not how it's portrayed at all.
No, it's like, hey, here's because like, isn't Starkiller the name of that was from
Starkiller's a person.
Right. Like that's what's his face from like Vader. Yeah.
Force Unleashed.
But like the idea of like the base or the thing of like they have this like ship that would like literally destroy suns and just obliterate planets around them. Right. So you'd like blow up a sun. That's how you would kill the planet, and then you just like zip out of there. So it's like they had a lot of these cool things they could have done, and it's just like, I don't know. They pulled from the books, but they like warped it in such a way that it's like you couldn't get worse.
Well, it's just like all of the context too is all like supplemental material, like you were talking about.
Yeah,
like what happened to the New Republic?
Yeah.
How did the First Order get, like, what is going on? Like, the First Order is supposed to be like a faction of the Empire.
Yeah.
And you're telling me they had the resources to build this?
Yep.
It's crazy. I thought it'd been so interesting and so a little bit more nuanced. I know, like, OG Star Wars is very good versus bad, but, like, I think the new age twist on this would have been really cool to explore, like, hey, maybe the Jedi aren't, like, totally great. Which I think the prequels actually like grapple with, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, like the Republic has all this stuff, and like the First Order or whatever are actually like the underdogs. Like that's an interesting dynamic. Like the quote unquote bad guys are the underdogs. So I think you have like a situation where it's like you know not typical.
Yeah.
I guess. I think there's a way to do it. I don't know. Or you have just a neutral third party. It doesn't even have to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's a lot of stories in the extended universe where there's like, I think there was one that Calvin was telling me about where there's this race of aliens that come in and they're like resistant to the Force or something.
Yeah, a lot of them do that. Yeah,
right. And that was like like this whole new threat. And it was just fresh and it was new and it wasn't like rebels versus dictators. You know.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
Yep,
we've seen that. We've seen that story arc. Like let's like you have so much to work with in this universe. It's like let's kind of use that. You know. I don't know. That's what
you could have brought Palpatine back. You could have done the cloning. You could have done Thrawn. You could have they had all that like out, and they were lazy with it. I don't know.
Well, they didn't set it up.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
The problem is you had 3 different directors, and I understand that the other movies had different directors too. But Abrams set up specific stuff.
Yeah.
For 8, and then Johnson like you needed one or the other.
Yeah.
Like I disagree with what Johnson did, but like some people found it interesting. The problem is there was no setup for that, and you just squashed every setup. Like, sure, you want to go 1 or 2 threads. Oh, you thought this was going to happen, and nope, you pull the rug out. But it was like the whole movie to me was like,
who did the third movie? Wasn't that Abrams?
Yes.
So it was
he tried to come back. Like, so what happened was Abrams set up some stuff.
Yeah.
And then Johnson,
it was 2 though, right? Like it was 2 directors, not 3. You said 3 directors. It was 2 directors.
I said different.
Oh, okay.
Directors.
Right.
But yeah, it's 2, not 3.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, like, he sets this stuff up. Johnson says no. And then Abrams is like...
Yeah, but...
yeah, but I'm just going to go back to what it was just so... Yeah, at that point, at 9, you just had to commit to what Johnson was doing.
Yeah.
You got to commit to that.
Yep.
Even if you don't necessarily like it or whatever.
You got to yes and him.
You got to yes and him. Exactly. To our earlier conversation. So it's... I don't know. I digress. I've said this shit a million times. It's just so sad because when I was watching it on Star Wars Day... It's just so great. Like, I love Star Wars, man. It's just like a great...
But here's the beauty with that is like no one can take that away from you. You know what I mean? Like you always have that and it's fine.
But Lord of the Rings hasn't, like you...
Yeah,
the fact that they haven't made the sequels...
Man.
Yeah, but that's prequel. That's prequel.
They did the TV show. It's, I guess, also prequel, technically, but it's
all prequel shit.
But it's all bad.
It's all bad. Well, The Hobbit, I heard, wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, but it didn't ruin... Like, 7, 8, 9 ruined Star Wars for me, almost.
That's fair. I guess they didn't, like, yeah. And they're doing,
but
like,
also,
a
it's
movie.
like... I don't know. Maybe it's just how my brain works. Like, if sequels are bad, that's infinitely worse than prequels.
Yeah.
Because you're always like, what comes next after this thing I love? And it's like, oh, just a bunch of shit.
I think that's just the thing is like the sequel needs to be like divorced from the content. Like you can keep the same world and the same like themes, but it's just like just cut it. So then you don't have to worry about all of that stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings is just like they can never take that away from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it's a tough situation, right? Like you're coming back after all this time. Such a beloved franchise. Like you're in a bad spot.
Yep.
But it just makes me so sick. They have so much money. They could have gotten anyone in the entire world to direct those 3 movies. Mm-hmm. Anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. J.J. Abrams.
Well, like, Star Trek did so well. let's bring him in for.
I get. Like, is he a huge Star Wars guy? Like, you got to have a big Star Wars dude.
But here's the thing. So Filoni is going to do his movie. I think there's too much pressure on him. And to be fair, if it's just a movie with all his TV characters, I don't know how good that's going to be. But that guy is like, if I had to pick someone that like knows Star Wars and loves Star Wars and everything, like. That's about as good as you're going to get, at least in the power to do something for it. I'm not saying there aren't bigger Star Wars fans out there that could do it, but like
you need to have the technical skills.
In the position of who's realistic,
right?
I think he's your best shot.
Of course.
If he does it and can't do it and it doesn't work, then it's like, okay, well, hey, look, maybe Star Wars isn't for us anymore.
George Lucas is the guy.
Dude, George Lucas would I think he was smart and got out, but like, I don't think he would have done something like. I think he would have been better with the old characters, but do I think that he could come up with like new stuff or new thing? Like who knows? But
yeah. So sticking on Star Wars. So, anyways, watch the movies.
40 minutes of Star Wars.
I'm passionate.
Let's keep it going. It's Star Wars Day. We didn't do Star Wars Day
exactly.
last time.
So, anyways, original trilogy, great. Maybe I'll watch the prequels.
Yeah.
But anyways, it got me in the mood. So I have Battlefront 2, the original 2005 version on Steam. So I was playing that. And then I downloaded all these mods. So the funny thing about this is they just came out with the, whatever it's called, not a collector's edition, but like the remastered, like weird, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same thing. Yeah. Essentially, it's just what they did with the mod.
We turned the servers on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The mods I downloaded are way better.
Yeah. Sure.
Like it literally looks better.
Yeah.
Runs better. And they still have online servers. So what are they doing, bro? And everything I did was free.
Yeah.
Took 2 seconds. Like crazy.
You got the new one though. Like the new.
So yeah, I was playing the OG. OG's still fun. Still great. But then I was like, because I was looking up all the mods and stuff, and then like I was recommended like the new one.
Yeah.
And then I saw on Steam it was $4 for like the Super Edition.
Which I think I have to have that.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let's give it a try. Because I know that I never got it initially because on launch it was a disaster.
Right.
And they were all these scummy, EA classic, you know, all the microtransactions, whatever. And then I think the game just wasn't working very well.
Yeah.
But I think now, after we're several years removed, a lot of years, when did that come out? Like 2015? 2017?
I think you were closer with the 15. I'll look it up. You keep going.
But yeah, we're like 7 years after, 9 years, whatever. Yeah. I think they added a ton of stuff. I think they fixed a lot of it. So I think like it's at the final state, because I don't think they're doing any more updates for the game.
17. You're right.
I don't think they're doing any more updates for the game. So I think it is what it is now, but I think it's in a pretty good spot, at least from what I could tell.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you did it because like they make you do the EA launcher, right? Like it's one of those joints.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure because it makes you do like how Ubisoft makes you launch those. Yeah.
That ruined my day.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyways, I'm excited to try it. It looks good. I think it'll be fun. They added a lot of the old classic, stuff like Conquest and co-op stuff, versus AI. I still think they don't have Galactic Conquest, which is...
It's crazy. Yeah.
That was like the best game mode in the OG.
Yeah, you would think too, because like they don't have... It's not like you're just running and just jumping a X-Wing or anything. Like it's still... You have to call stuff in. You still have to do... Like it's still weird the way that they implemented that. You would think it'd be more like Battlefield-esque. Because DICE is the one that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like, great, here's Battlefield, but Star Wars. And they still somehow, it just wasn't what we needed.
Dude, Galactic Conquest, like, it wouldn't even be hard. Like, you have the game modes, you have the maps.
Yeah.
Now you just have to do, like, this overworld.
Mm-hmm.
Not overworld, but, like, the galaxy map. And it's just a very basic strategy game. Like, the OG, it's, like, very simple. Like,
yeah.
I thought there would be an opportunity to expand on that a little bit, just make a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what people wanted, right? Like, I mean, Battlefront 3 has to happen at some point. I just don't know if EA is going to be the one doing it.
Well, the OG Battlefront was supposed to have a 3, and it was almost done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a mod for a lot of the assets that were lost. And
yeah.
It's like almost a whole game.
Yeah.
And it was so cool, dude. They finally implemented the space to ground combat. Like you'd have a space battle going on and a ground combat going on, and you could fly from space to the ground.
Yep.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't do that. Now I understand modern hardware, it's a lot more processing, blah, 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 but I don't know. You can figure that out back in like 2009, but
I mean, we devolved into like even Battlefront 2. We ended up playing the space stuff way more than even the ground stuff. Like the dogfighting and everything was like, if you want to feel like super Star Warsy, like whenever you're seeing like your squadron go through the clouds and then like there's just a bunch of laser fire firing at you and stuff, that felt really cool. Like that was exciting.
Yep.
But that lasts for like 3 seconds, and then you're just like, oh, this is okay. We're hitting the spaceship here. Oh, all right, cool. And I don't know.
But dude, the OG, it was like the space battles were so much better. Like you could literally land in the enemy hangar, blow it up from the inside.
Yeah.
Like you had like this one type of ship that let your team spawn on it. So you would drop that ship in their hangar, and then all of these guys would pop out on your team. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And that was like 20 years ago when they made this game, man. It's crazy.
I mean, like everything we were just talking about, it's like, okay, like you're really missing what was cool about something, or you're really missing what people enjoyed about it or something. And I don't know, like whenever people are just like, oh, it's really hard to do this. It's like, okay, look, it might be, right? Like maybe the overworld, like you said, it should be easy to do whatever. Maybe it's like the hardest thing in the world, right? Like maybe it's just impossible to crack.
Yep.
But if that's impossible to crack, but you know that's what people want, it's like at some point, then just don't do it. Like if it's too hard and you can't do it, don't do it. Don't half-ass it, and then be more focused on monetizing the thing.
But don't you think it was hard for them 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? Sure. Like, I just don't get it. And again, completely ignorant to the intricacies of game design and game development. I will admit that, but
you don't have to finish a game.
In 2005,
yeah,
they could do all that. Was it perfect? No. But it just blows my mind. They didn't get patches
right
back then.
Well, that's the thing, is you don't have to finish a game in 2024. In 2024, right. You just have to go on ChatGPT and have it write you an apology letter. That's it. And like you're starting to see that as
Certainly.
Like studios are closing and
sorry.
everyone's cutting it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like I mean, there's just layoffs and like like we're seeing like a really bad backlash. But it's like I feel so bad for the developers and stuff. But it is like just all these companies are starting to realize like, oh, we actually have to make good on things. Otherwise, like we don't have a revenue stream. We don't have like all the things that we thought we could just monetize to Kingdom Come only works if people actually like your game to begin with.
You think there will be a shift in the industry? Like usually I find that in anything in the culture, things shift like pendulum.
I think you're going to start seeing like smaller stuff. I think you're going to like, I think and I hate saying this too, because it's like, there are plenty of indie games that are just smoking AAA titles. Maybe not in like the big budget, like graphics department or different things like that, but just in terms of pure fun or even story or thought provoking stuff and whatever. But then like, I wasn't even going to mention this on the cast, but like you have apparently like the Xbox head, is it Matt Booty? I think it's Booty, but I don't forget what his first name is. But like, he apparently was saying like, oh, you know, we need smaller games that win a ton of awards and things like that. And you're sitting there and you're like, huh, okay, you just closed the Hi-Fi Rush studio. Right. Like you just shuttered all these things that like could have maybe got you that. I don't know. Like people are going to be looking at like, what is the quickest way to make like the smallest thing? Like, yeah, they might embrace the idea of like maybe games for a service is just a bad business model currently, like the way that things are going. So like you're seeing that in like Suicide Squad, you're seeing that in like honestly even like Tekken, like what are you doing? You're more concerned with like give us constant money versus we give you something that's worth it, you know? But I think that they're gonna start realizing like, oh, we can just start like putting out small games and get paid for those and we'll be lauded for those. But then the thing that I'm worried about is you're going to start seeing those like smaller indie things. Now it's going to be charged for like $30 and $40 and like they're going to like, it's not going to be enough money for them. It's going to be like, oh, we'll just keep jacking the prices up and seeing like how much we can do, how little can you do it, and how much can you get, like how much can you sell it for?
Right.
So I think that's the thing that I'm worried about is like you're talking pendulum. I think that's what we're going to see is we're going to see an uptick in quote unquote indie games or even AAA developers trying to invoke the indie kind of feel. Do I think that they're going to get away with it? No. But I mean, what's the latest greatest game? You know, like I can't think of it. Like this year is rough, man. Like it's been like there's good things that have come out, but not to the same caliber as.
Well, last year was a spike.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year, I mean, Tekken.
Yeah.
I still think Final Fantasy is an amazing game. I know that you disagree, but that's a big one.
But it's look, if I disagree with it, I still know that that's a well-made, polished, high budget. Like,
but that's what I really respect about that game. Like, there are no microtransactions in that game.
Right.
There are no add-ons. They're not doing DLC for it. Like, that was a hearkening back to, like, this game's done in its entirety. Yeah, there's some technical things wrong with it. I know that, like, Unreal had some bug issues, right? Like, especially like lighting issues. But overall, the experience was pretty straightforward, like, in terms of technical. And, like, I don't know, I just really appreciated, like, that was a game where it was like start to finish, very old school vibe in terms of, like, I paid for this product and I felt like I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
And, like, so much content. And I know that you might disagree about, like, well, is it fun, blah blah blah, but you can't say that they didn't just infuse this game with so much.
And I said that
so many things
to
do.
When I was kind of like, I don't want to say poo-pooing it, but, like, look, just because it didn't land with me doesn't mean I can't respect it for what it did and for how other people like. I completely accept that I'm on the minority there, but it's still like,
valid.
Look, it came out, it worked, it, like, you know, like it's a pretty low bar when it comes to video games at this point.
People that like this game have well over 100 hours.
Yeah,
like, that is worth $70.
Sure,
easily.
Yep.
I mean, some people have 200 hours. Like, there's, like, that is completely feasible in this game. If you wanted 100% this game, it is well into the triple digits of hours. So it's like, that's worth it.
But look at Balatro. Look at
Balatro's
Unicorn
another
Overlord. Like, I mean, I would even say, like, Prince of Persia is, like, it's still a good game. Like, it's still, like, it was serviceable. It did its thing, and, like, you have to like the genre to really get the most out of it. But, like, those are the things. Like, it's crazy that games are getting, like, rated highly if it's just, like, it's not broken.
Well,
you know, like, it's not a money grab.
Balatro
like,
goes to your point where it's like, talk about no budget to make this game. Like, hardly.
But
any.
it's a good idea, and it's like, so I think that's the thing is,
it's unique,
like,
it's fun, but it's good. It's the core of what gaming's about.
Yeah,
it's fun. Entertainment.
But how many of those indie developers are getting just gobbled up by, like, and
that's where the money is.
No, I know, but, like, that's the thing is, like, they'll get bought and then nothing comes of them. How many studios did Microsoft buy? And I know we were giving them a lot of leeway with, like, Game Pass and everything else, but, like, and I think Gears is being announced in June or July on, like, one of their conferences or something like that. It might even be E3, I don't know. But, like, you're going to see something there, but, like, dude, nothing is making good. Like, we finally got Starfield. Great. Now, granted, that was bought after the fact, so it is what it is. But, like, wasn't great. No. You know? Like, I just, like...
Just released a patch for it, though.
Did they? Great. What is it? Like a FOV slider, finally?
It was, I think it was technical stuff, but...
Sure.
Man, what a disappointing game. I really wanted to like that game. I really did, man.
I don't know, man.
The premise of it was so good.
Yeah.
The premise was so good.
But you have indie games that do better. Like, they're just, like, better stuff.
Yeah, but, like, imagine having the indie game identity and passion and unique nature and fun with the budget of a AAA game.
I don't think you can have both. Like, the more that I play this stuff, name a game that does that, man.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That game had a big budget. And it showed.
You're
and
right.
That's why people were saying this is one of the best games ever.
The only reason why I don't count Baldur's Gate 3 is because they're not public, right? Like, they're their own thing and they're not beholden to anybody. Okay. So, like, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. Like, there's a passion there and they have the budget there. Yeah. But, like, they worked really hard for that and got to that point. You're not doing that. Microsoft isn't owning you, and then you have, like a passionate whatever, you know, and you put out what you want or something.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. I think Gears is going to be my kind of not line in the sand isn't the right word, but, like, that's going to be, like, my really kind of telltale of, like, where is it going as far as AAA goes.
You've been looking forward to that forever.
And I don't even like Gears that much. You know what I mean? Like, I like Gears, but I don't like half the game. I hate multiplayer.
Yeah,
I love horde mode and I love the story just because it's like a dumb story and I like the gameplay.
Right.
I don't like the multiplayer. Multiplayer is a big part of it, and that's the staying power.
Right.
So, like, for me not to even be like, it's not like I'm like I have like the gears.
But I'm curious, like,
and
would
stuff.
you like the multiplayer more if, like, I was because I never played.
Yeah,
with
maybe if we got into it as a group and
it's
stuff.
the same thing
sure.
as Tekken.
Yeah.
You never played the multiplayer in Tekken? Like, the last, how many Tekkens? Did you ever grind rank? Do you ever?
No.
Yeah. Exactly. You
Sure.
played the story. You did all the cutscenes.
Completely fair. So
it's like, I don't know.
But then that's what excites me on this new one, where it's like, cool, can we get to that point? Like,
Yeah.
I played the heck out of multiplayer as far as like horde mode. Like, I would always play with friends, and that was the thing that we did.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not against multiplayer, but it's like, can they somehow do something good there? Like, I don't know. Like, their track record hasn't been stellar. So, like, I don't know what Microsoft can do at this point. What do they have in the pipeline, short of Gears of War, that could make anyone excited about anything? Like, Halo even is just like, yeah, they put some good pieces out, but it was so disjointed and so fractured that, like, by the time they got all of their stuff actually working, they lost the fan base because it's like, dude, this is like it's not finished.
Yep.
Like, it's not a finished game. But because they have to hit a certain shareholder thing, or they have to hit a certain quarter, they just put out this crap that, like, well, we'll make good on it later on. Like Redfall, like, that was one of the studios they closed. Redfall, the Arcane Austin, put out Prey, which was just lauded and loved and everything else. And then somehow they put out the worst piece of trash game of last year that was just busted. And then they're like, oh no, we'll make it, we'll put out the 60 frames patch as if that was the key factor in being good or bad. And now they just shut it down, and they're like, we'll put a make good out for people that, like, pre-ordered the big boy edition or whatever. It's like, come on. I don't know. I mean, you know what? You want to make good? Give them their $70 back, or give them their $150 back, whatever they spent on that game, that piece of crap, broken ass game. Give them their money back. Like, if you actually want to make good, give them their money back. What are you going to get? Like, oh, here's $15 to the Microsoft store. Here's a month of Ultimate. I might be in my words. Maybe they'll give them their money back. I doubt it. At least Stadia gave all the money back. You know what I mean? Like, you buy into that crap, and it, like, I don't get it, man. Like, I don't think I've been excited or played a game that I actually, like, AAA game that was, like, good. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed Call of Duty for what it was, but it wasn't like I was like, I don't know. It wasn't like recapturing Modern Warfare. Do you count, like, Alan Wake
as a AAA game?
I
another,
guess,
like,
to some extent,
their own studio kind of thing.
Yeah, Remedy is a little
diamond in the rough.
Yeah, and I don't want to say, like, I hate AAA games and then, like, make all these exceptions. So, like, that's a good point. Like, way to call me out. Like, seriously, like, that's I already forgot about that. You know, but that
was a great game.
It was, and that was something that I wasn't typically a fan of. Like, I'm not a fan of that genre and stuff. So, like,
and talk about, like, two things that are, like, not historically, but, like, recently have been bad is AAA games and not remakes, but, like, sequels.
Yeah,
because we live in a world of just sequel.
Yeah,
and both of those things executed masterfully by Remedy last year.
Yeah,
where you could make an art, like, if Baldur's Gate 3 didn't pop off as much as it did, you could legitimately make an argument for Game of the Year for.
Absolutely.
Like, it deserved all of the nominations it got.
Yep.
And that was a great game.
I mean, like, look, Spider-Man was fun.
Spider-Man was a little disappointing to me, but yeah.
I don't know. But again, there's a difference between, like, okay, like, this is.
But God of War was great. I mean, they knocked that out of the park.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are, like, I think there are good big games, but there's obviously way more disappointments.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? Like, why is Sony able to churn out these, like, I would say, like, critically praised games?
Yeah.
And Microsoft just can't seem to do it. Like, are they too hands off? Are they too hands on?
There's something about it, dude. It's like,
you can't just throw money at a problem.
I mean, why is Chick-fil-A the best customer service in fast food?
Yeah, right.
Like, nobody can crack the code. You know? Like, something about what they do.
Yeah.
Is just
they hire
way better.
4 times as many people than any other. Like, when I worked at McDonald's, it was like, here's 3 people.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Enjoy this.
Well, that just goes back. It's like, hey, wow, imagine, like, putting in the investment to make a good product and it pays off.
Well, that's the thing, is they have the investment, but then it's like, okay, here this is. You have to have this done by spring.
No, yeah, the investment would be, okay, you need another year? Sure.
Yeah.
The investment is like, we're going to sacrifice profits now
Yeah.
to make sure this is good. But obviously it doesn't matter, because if like they're rushing this stuff for the stakeholders, and if that wasn't like clearly it's better to rush something out the door that's not good than to wait until it is good. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't keep doing it, right? Like if they were like, oh, you know what, we're actually not making our money back or whatever. I don't know. That's my thought. Maybe I'm way off base there, but like that's just what it seems like. Wouldn't you think they would stop doing it if it was like, you know what, actually, this wasn't as profitable as we thought. Let's give them the time. I don't know.
And that's where marketing comes in, man. I don't know. Like it's so easy to slap on like from the makers of BioShock, and it's like, yeah, I was a character concept artist in the BioShock team.
Yeah,
back
we've talked
in, like,
about that, right?
2000. So like, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it's just, I think two things. One, I think it's clever marketing, or not even clever. It's just straight up like, we're just going to lie here, which is basically marketing in a nutshell. And then, or it's like just people's memories are just so short.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, dude, the moment, and like, I'm going to be the first guy too, where like Mass Effect gets a launch date or something. You know, we're going to be like up at midnight. Yeah, exactly. Like,
dude, our whole podcast started with the Legendary Edition,
and it's just like,
which was like
cool, like you know,
sure.
like
Is it
going to be good? Probably not, but like we can't help ourselves. You know, like BioWare hasn't put out something that's good. Like Dragon Age has been in development for how long? How many times have they like put all that stuff out there?
Right.
You know, like I don't know. I'm very curious on like, okay, like when the next Elder Scrolls game comes out.
Yeah.
Like, how's that gonna, you know, like, is that gonna suddenly be like, oh, thank goodness, like Bethesda's back, you know, like, or is it just gonna be more disappointment of, you know, like I would love to see how many companies take Baldur's Gate stuff and try to replicate and try to do it, and then you already have people saying like, hey, don't count on it, you know, like.
Well, Larian's not doing it, right? So, yeah, but they're gonna try. Oh yeah, we'll see a Baldur's Gate 4.
But that's the beauty of it, is Larian's like, hey, really thought hard about it, and we're not gonna do it, and then everyone's like, oh, thank God, you know, like great, let's move on to something else, like.
Well, they're going back to Divinity.
Sure, but it's fresh. They aren't like slaves to D&D 5e, right? Like they can do what they want because they thought of good, cool ideas.
Yep.
Like good, like do what you keep doing and what you enjoy doing, but like don't shackle yourself to like it might not be shareholders, but you're shackling yourself to the rules of this game that you can't break because it's literally Baldur's Gate or whatever. I don't know.
No, I agree, dude. Like 100%.
I know this is a very negative week for us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed.
What's good? What's good? I mean, Hades 2's out, the early access. Are you planning on playing that, or are you kind of waiting for us to be fully cooked?
Just waiting for the game to come out.
Wow, okay. All right. I think I might. I
don't generally like early access.
Hades early access was great. That's why I'm like, I might give it the benefit of the doubt. And
I just like being surprised. Like Baldur's Gate, speaking of that, I never played, like that was in early access for years. I never played
that's pretty story
second
heavy,
of that.
Right? Like that's pretty like story heavy RPG.
Hades has some something there.
Yeah, it's not to the same extent.
No, of course not.
It's more a game. Like,
yeah, of course.
I like the idea that like, oh, that sounds like a really good Steam Deck game to play while I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so,
no, go for it.
Yeah.
No, Hades is coming out.
Donkey's game. Is it Animal Well? I think is what it's called.
I have no idea. You were talking about that, and I just was not even aware of what that is.
Made a game. It's first one. It's made by one guy, I guess, and it's like 86 on OpenCritic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Is it on Steam and everything?
Yep.
Okay. What is it? You know what it is?
Metroidvania. Your favorite.
Oh God.
They said
that's like the classic indie game, though.
But they said it's a twist on it, so I don't know what that means.
Oh, they're all twists on it, Ty.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah.
I've been hearing that forever. Prince of Persia was
the
a
true
twist
would be like, it's not a Metroidvania.
Yeah, you want a twist to make it another genre.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I don't know what's coming out this year that I'm like looking forward to.
It's really tough when I sit down. I'm like, dude, I just want to play Tekken with you. Like my cousin texts and is like, hey, I got a new character. It's like, man, I just want to play Tekken.
Yep,
It's
we're getting a little stuck in that. I still haven't finished Dragon's Dogma, which is going to be really.
Just let it die. You should just put it on the cast. If we just say, hey, Dragon's Dogma is not very good. Like
I'm trying though.
Like here's the stick. This is what should have just put that nail in the coffin immediately.
Yeah,
is Jeff was just like, yeah, this isn't very good.
And he put 70 hours into it.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Like you can't do that. Like on paper, Jeff, like that's his game, and it's just like,
yeah, and then
dude,
he's like, I don't get it.
Like
but there's so many people that just swear it's great.
Sure.
I just don't understand.
I think it's all a big joke. I think it's like it's the same people that are saying Grand Theft Auto is good, and it's just like it's this big conspiracy theory.
Hold on. Grand Theft Auto is
That's
great.
all it is.
I can't wait for 6, dude. That's gonna be great. Although it's only coming out on consoles, which is really fucking annoying.
Consoles aren't gonna run it well at all.
No,
like,
it's just
busted.
Oh, it's so annoying, dude.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto is the best on PC.
Yeah,
the mods, it's
dude, you're automatically gonna pay $140 for it.
I know, because they know I'm gonna pay for it twice. They know I have to get it when everyone else gets it.
100%.
I have to.
Yep.
They know it. They're scamming me.
Yeah.
It better be good. That's all I'm gonna say, man. It better be good.
Oh, and you bend me over.
Yeah, exactly. It better
sure.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but I'm trying to think that there's got to be something I'm missing this year that's coming out.
It's like been announced or whatever.
What was the one? What was the one game? It's like a top down.
Yeah, that's out.
What is it called?
You mean from the people that did Ori on the Blind Forest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Is it good?
It was adequate. I think it actually had like mostly positive. It was like not a great review on Steam. I have them all on my wish list of different things, and it's just like I'm looking for new experiences, man. And it's just I don't know. I said Donkey's thing was Animal Well, right? Like that was the one.
But fudge, I can't even remember.
I mean, I'll bring up my wish list. It's okay. This is great.
Well, I'm bringing up Open Critic.
Great Pawn.
Just wanted to see what the scores were. Oh, Stellar Blade. Wow, Animal Well up to an 89.
How many reviews?
29.
That's the thing. 29. It's not bad.
That's not
good.
bad at all. No, that's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like 100, but
well, you know, No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah,
it's $40. It has a mostly positive.
Okay.
Which is that even on? I don't think that's out yet, right? Like, is it just like early access? That's a problem too. Is like half the stuff's early. Yeah, it's early access.
Right. Okay. So exactly.
Like,
yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, but I was interested in that. That looked interesting to me.
Looks great.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. I love that art style, like that painterly kind of thing. But
yeah. So I guess I'll have to try Animal
Well. Yeah.
PC Gamer gave it a 90. PC Gamer's usually pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So that's impressive. Anyways. Yeah, I'm getting stuck just playing Tekken. But it's just like, I think we were spoiled last year, right? There was so many amazing games, and now we're back down to earth.
I think, like, that's the thing, though, is I think they're there. I think the partly, though, is like, I don't even look at a game unless it came out this year, and I gotta maybe...
Well, I want to play Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
I never played it, so that's an opportunity.
Still have to go through Gears before the new one comes out.
Yeah. We started going through the old Halos on Legendary, and we stopped at 2 because it's too hard.
Yeah, because 2's terrible.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It was the first mission,
It's bad.
I heard the first mission is one of the hardest ones, though, which is not a good game to start.
Sure.
But that was brutal, dude. We were getting our ass kicked. I would do that again.
Like 3 I've played through Legendary multiple times. Like
I can't remember 2 very well. Like I just remember 3 because I was too young for like 1 and 2.
So would you want to do like insane on Gears, or is that like we just play through for the story, like hard or something?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Me and Nate always used to play insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down for that.
It's weird that like I typically don't do like the crazy hard modes, but like Halo.
It's just kind of tradition.
Halo and Gears, you just always kind of had to.
Yeah, it was always tradition.
I mean, otherwise you're knocking that out in like 4 hours and you're done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I need to do that. We should play. Speaking of Halo, we should play Infinite on Legendary because that's the only Halo I never beat on Legendary.
Yeah, I'd do that.
And I think they have the co-op now that it's 10 years later, whatever.
Online?
I think they have the co-op campaign.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they have Forge mode now.
I know I started the Infinite on Legendary, and it was like, it's pretty brutal. Like the snipers are, yeah, because they little snipe across like that. Yeah.
Have always been the worst. Anyways.
I do that.
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I just, like you said, just getting stuck on Tekken, and I was playing a lot of Belated today. That game's just, it's just so easy to pick up.
Yep.
Turn my brain off, but turn it on a little bit because you actually kind of have to think a little bit. But
it's a nice thinking.
It's a nice thinking.
Dude, I downloaded freaking Stardew Valley again for the umpteenth time because like I just want to get lost in like just a lo-fi, like low impact, just kind of thing, and it's just tough, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tekken is just I don't know. Like Tekken has my heart. Like how like maybe something else will come out. Like not to jump game of the year, but like how does that factor in where okay, we've put probably 100 hours in easy now, right? Like well over.
Yeah.
So it's like, how does that just not automatically win just for like how much we've...
Because I still have more in Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I keep forgetting Final Fantasy. Yeah.
Even with all the Tekken we played, I still have more in Final Fantasy. That's crazy. That was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but like that's going to
3 weeks.
That's going to get overshadowed eventually.
It's going to get overshadowed eventually, but that's impressive. Single player game.
That's true. I think I have like 120 in Tekken.
I haven't played a game that much. Well, Baldur's Gate, but...
Yeah.
Since those two.
Yeah. I think the last game that I played that much was honestly Animal Crossing, which was a special time, I guess. But
it's a special time, special place.
Yeah. Look, man, like here's the thing, like Diablo's coming out with their season 3 or 4, which is like the quote unquote good team. Like they're split up into two teams.
Oh, that's right. You were just,
apparently, so
every other season's
like maybe good. That will be because they said like this is the biggest change since the game came out. Like they're reworking a whole bunch of stuff. So like part of me is like, oh, that'd be nice to like go in. And the nice thing is I could technically get that on PlayStation and it carries over, which is good. But
right.
Does it deserve another $70 to play it, you know, on a couch? Like probably not.
Dude, probably not.
Like if
that would be a great game just to sit back and play though. So might think about that.
Look, I
one.
got my money's worth out of Tekken. I put in what, like $200 in Tekken?
Yeah, dude.
Because I got the collectors and the PlayStation
but
one.
You'll get your money's worth.
Well, yeah, I'm already 100 hours over. Like,
right,
you know, $2 an hour,
dude. If you hit 200 hours, if you can get $1 per hour, that's like really good.
Yeah,
that's what I know that's not always possible, but like $2 per hour is good too.
Yeah. Justin, got to see his Leroy. We'll see. I mean, that's gonna be this weekend. I'm assuming at some point, but you know, it's Mother's Day too.
Yeah,
I guess we should have said Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
My mom's in Utah right now, so I'm not even gonna see her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
visiting my brother. Yeah. So
I got Chelsea some AirPods.
She's a mom. The first Mother's Day. That's really exciting.
I know. Yeah.
Shout out to Chelsea.
We're gonna go to my sister-in-law's, but they're sick, so that's getting pushed to next week.
Oh well, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I don't know.
That's all I got.
I feel like it's like this is like, you know, Jimmy Kimmel like constantly bumps Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been doing this with the top 5 emojis. We're like, I'll get it next week. I really don't feel like arguing if the crying emoji is.
We gotta start with that next time, or when we're gonna do it.
We'll
have to start with it. We'll get there.
So it's
this is
pretty succinct. It's just straight up Star Wars negative
easy,
Nancy.
Easy.
The state of the.
I feel bad because I've had that Star Wars rant like 10 times on the podcast, but it's just so deep in my heart that I believe everything that I'm saying there. It's like, why can't the world just be exactly how I want it, Tyler?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Why does it have to be not what I want?
So nothing's good. Everything's terrible.
No, I don't think that. Usually I'm an optimist.
I'm just saying from what we talked about on the podcast, it's Star Wars bad. Video games bad.
No, because the 2005 Star Wars is great. Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite games of all time. To this day, I can go, boot it up, play through the campaign, and I wanted to talk about this, or just make this point real quick. Talk about a campaign that has zero resources put into it. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, the campaign cutscenes are just in-game little footages with a filter.
Yeah.
Or scenes from the movie. Okay? Zero budget. The soundtrack, movie, right?
Yeah, right.
And then the gameplay itself in there is just a variety of like objective things that are just in the game itself. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's either like, oh, go capture this command post or pick up the flag and come back. And you know what I mean? But wow, so much like charm in it because of like whoever, I should have looked up who did the voice, like the narrator or whatever, or the voice for the clones.
Yeah.
Because he carries the whole thing. Like, his monologues are so good. That even then I'm looking at this stock footage of like in-game footage of the troops just running around.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome because he's like, I just remember, I don't know them from heart, but I just still remember like when they're on Felucia and they're talking about, who's the Twi'lek Jedi with the two sabers?
Oh, geez.
You sure with a V?
Are you sure it's a Twi'lek?
I think so.
I mean, there's Ki-Adi-Mundi. There's
that's a guy.
It's
a girl.
Adi Gala.
I don't know. I'm looking it up now. You're supposed to be my guy, dude.
I just said Adi Gala. I don't know what's
is that right? I don't think it is.
That's the only female Jedi that I can.
Is she a Twi'lek?
Unless it's Yaddle. No, she's
okay.
Then Twi'lek adjacent.
Twi'lek Jedi.
Yeah. It's not Adi Gala? Adi Gala. Galia?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean that's Twi'lek adjacent.
Ayla Secura.
Okay, sure. I didn't know who that was. That's Adi Gala.
That's a human.
Yeah, but she has like tendrils coming out of her neck. Her back of her head. It's like a little headdress thing. It looks like skin flaps.
Okay, whatever.
All right.
Okay, Ayla Secura.
Sure. I haven't heard that before. Unless you just pronounced it different. Can I see the how it's spelled?
AA.
Okay, well, anyway.
Oh, that's my
that's your
debit card.
Credit card.
I'm trying to
There we go.
Pull a fast one on me.
Ayla Secura. Yeah, I don't. Okay. She's the one that got shot in the.
Yes, in the back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This is like your books. Like, in the movie, it's just like, oh, dumb Jedi just gets shot in the back. But in the movie, in the game, she comes to rescue them because they're on Felucia fighting the droids and they're getting destroyed by the wildlife. And she comes in and saves all of them. And then there's this monologue about like, because they know that they're going to betray the Jedi. And they're like, nobody could look her in the eye that day because we knew what was to come. Or something. It was like so cool.
Yeah.
The line is, we're lucky we had helmets on because nobody could look her in the eye that day. It was like, what a line. And the delivery's great. And then the whole thing, you're going to the Jedi Temple and he says this monologue about like, it was the most silent ride to the Jedi Temple we all knew in our hearts, blah, blah, blah. It's like this whole, like the writing was so good.
I don't think I ever played that game.
You should just go through. I'll send you a video of just like the cut. They're like, the whole campaign cutscenes are probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm thinking this is the guy that's like doing the monologue and he's the one that gets like Yoda's lightsaber in the head. So you're talking normally and all of a sudden you're like, it's just done.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, I think it might be one of the best campaigns with it, like in conjunction with the resources put into it that I've ever seen.
It's the laziest.
It's so lazy, but it's like everyone has fond nostalgia of it because like when I say he carries it and the writing carries it, it's like crazy. I gotta send you it. I'm like curious what you think of it, but yeah, it's just those little things, just like the books, like that little bit of context where it's like you get the clone's perspective on like they're betraying the Jedi and they're doing it.
I'd play the new one, right? Like I'd fire it up.
I want to play the new one with you.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'll send you that. I'm curious what you think though. But anyways, my whole point was it's not all bad. Original Battlefront 2, great. 2005, great year. Okay. I was 8.
Okay, I was a
little 8-year-old Johnny.
5. I guess I was a sophomore in high school.
That's loud. Well, on that note, that's all I got.
Yeah.
If you made it this far, thanks for joining us.
2008.
2005.
2005. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm with you.
If you made it this far, thanks for joining us. Check us out, couchcompany.games. Got all our stuff on there. And we're going to be here same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.